Today, we're talking about something that can truly make a difference for caregivers and families. And we're talking about how to access free home care through respite support subsidized by the Arc Montgomery County. And if you're caring for a senior, you know how valuable extra support can be because it's being responsible if we are taking care of ourselves, as caregivers as well. And that's why we're excited to have Julia Julz Abate with us today. Julz has been with the Arc Montgomery County since 2006 and serves as the Respite Administrator, helping families connect with essential care services. She has extensive experience working with home health organizations, respite facilities, and community programs that provide much needed relief for caregivers. And she's also actively involved in age-friendly Montgomery and dementia-friendly Montgomery initiatives. She's here to walk us through how respite support works, who qualifies, how you can apply for these services, and so on. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into today's discussion.
As Dexter said, my name is Julz. I'm the Respite Administrator with the Arc Montgomery County. My contact information is here, and we could put this pleasant presentation in this slide for you. Just want to make sure that everybody knows what respite is. Word respite is a French word for to take a break. So the Arc of Montgomery County has been awarded the contract to administer and coordinate the system of respite for Montgomery County caregivers. Our primary funding source for this grant comes from Montgomery County's Department of Health and Human Services. As I said, respite means to take a break from caregiving. It provides short-term temporary relief to a caregiver, and respite can help ease the burden of family caregiving and help relieve stress, restore your energy, promote balance in your life. Just keep in mind that respite is not designed for ongoing care, just to give you a short break. Who's eligible for respite? The Arc of Montgomery County can coordinate short-term respite for the unpaid live-in primary caregiver who resides in the same household in Montgomery County and who is caring for a child or adult with a functional disability such as cancer, MS, traumatic brain injury, advanced diabetes. For a caregiver that's caring for a child or adult with an intellectual disability, for a caregiver who's caring for a child with challenging behaviors, and the biggest population we do support are caregivers who are caring for frail seniors. Currently, families are eligible to receive 140 hours of respite care. I do want to mention, though, right now our enrollment period for fiscal year 25 has ended. The next time you could apply for our services is on July 7th, and the application will be on our website. So I'm going to give you some examples of primary caregivers: a spouse caring for their spouse who has dementia, a parent caring for a child with autism, a sibling caring for a sibling with MS, a grandparent caring for a child with a disability, a partner caring for their partner who has a health condition. Just please keep in mind that you're not eligible to apply for respite if you or your loved one receives any kind of other state, federal, military, or veterans funding for in-home or community-based services. How do you apply for respite? You would visit our website. Again, the application's not going to be there now because our enrollment period is closed, but July 7th, we do have 3 applications on our website. For children 0 to 17, we have a children's app, adults 18 to 59. We have an adult app, and anyone over 60 is considered a senior, and we have a senior application. Just some fun facts about the families enrolled in our program. Our oldest client being cared for is 106. Our youngest client is 2 years old, and our oldest caregiver is 93 years old, taking care of their 98-year-old spouse. We actually have about 6 people that are over the age of 100 enrolled in our program. That's pretty amazing. Okay, the application process, again, you go to our website on July 7th. You want to submit your supporting documents that's requested on the application. If you don't, it's just going to delay your application. Please allow for 30 business days for us to process your application. You'll be notified by email upon approval, and you'll be provided a family orientation with me to discuss the guidelines of respite coordination. So what happens during orientation? I will provide the family with all the guidelines of the program, including the number of hours, and explain the level of care. In addition, how the respite hours can be used in different settings. For example, in the home, adult medical day program, respite facility, camps, or therapeutic programs. I take in consideration language that are spoken in the home, geographic location, and the level of care a person needs. And I'm going to connect you with providers who can meet the needs of your loved one. So keep in mind, again, the ARC does not provide their direct support. We work with a consortium of agencies that provide that support. And one of them is Visiting Angels. We work a lot with Visiting Angels. They refer a lot of families to respite. They want to make sure when they meet with their families, they know about respite. They are very good at making sure that they're eligible for respite before having them fill out an application. And they're very good at helping families fill out an application. And then the family member and I will work together to ensure that they have agreed upon who's going to actually deliver the respite. We will approve hours on a monthly basis, and that subsidy for payment will be directly paid to the provider. So we have a frequently asked question on our website as well. If you just want to go over that, we also have what the home health care agency can and cannot do on our website. So there's a lot of information on our website. So this, if Visiting Angels was to provide you service, they could provide supervision and companionship. They can assist with activities of daily living, as referred to as ADLs. They can prepare a light meal, do some light housekeeping, do some laundry, medication reminders. They cannot administer medicine. In the state of Maryland, a CNA or GNA cannot administer medication, do injections. That is considered skilled nursing. Your respite hours cannot be used for transportation or errand services. So that's respite in a nutshell. So are there any questions?
So some of this probably would be like, a reiteration of what you've already mentioned, but yeah,
That's
let's
okay.
go. So eligibility, the question is based on net worth or income requirements.
Well,
Is that,
hold on to your
yeah.
seats. There is no income requirement. The county has asked us to collect your data on your salary, but that does not prevent you from being eligible. There is no income requirements. This is probably the only program in Montgomery County that is not income based.
Would the same apply for Prince George's County?
No.
So,
So this program is only for Montgomery County respite. PG County does have a respite program. It's a little bit different from ours. But you have to apply and all the other counties in Maryland, you have to apply through the Department of Social Services. Montgomery County is so big and they fund the majority of our program, it's easier for them to contract it out to the ARC. So it is different. So you have to go on the PG County Department of Social Services and request an application. You should call to see if they have funding available as well.
okay, 140 hours a year,
Yeah. It's
right?
150
Okay.
hours in a fiscal year. And remember, our fiscal year starts in July. That's basically when we get our funding. And we hope it lasts till June. So it's
All right.
103 hours in a year. Uh,
Okay. So here's another question. How many times can I receive your respite services, like future return for services?
well, you have to apply every year. You have to
Eh,
renew your respite application.
mhm. Can we send the presentation that you shared via email, Jules?
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
So we will be doing that. We will be emailing you the replay as well as the link to download the presentation. And how often can one apply for respite? I believe that's yearly, right? Is
Yes,
there
they would
like,
have to apply yearly.
okay,
So,
do you
and families
receive
do
federal funding? Oh, sorry
we
about that.
receive
You were,
we receive some federal funding. So once you're enrolled in respite and your application is approved, you're eligible to receive 140 hours as long as funding is available. And families use their hours differently. Some families like to spread it over 12 months. Some families use it all in 1 month. So it's really dependent on how you want to use your hours, what's going to serve you. We have families that go on vacation every year with their family members, but they can't take their loved one that they're caring for. So they tend to use their hours in an assisted living, and they use all their 140 hours up in 1 month. Some families choose to have a home health care agency come once a week at a 4-hour minimum, and they may use 16 hours per month, and they like to spread it over to the end of the fiscal year. Some families who also may be receiving hospice care need a lot of relief, and they may use all 140 hours up in 14 days because respite is in-home respite is limited to 10 hours a day for in-home respite. So they may use their hours up in 14 days. 10 times 14 is 140 hours. So it really depends on your family situation and what's going to work best for your family.
Jules, could you kind of explain maybe like what the process, kind of walk us through a family considering this and the application part of it? I know that, we had talked about, is the application, can you do it online yet, or do you still have to print it off? And then explain the process about getting the doctor's registration and everything filled out too. Could you just walk us through that, please?
Sure. So you want to make sure you're eligible, and if you're connected to Visiting Angels already, Barbara and her team can certainly help you. But you want to make sure you're eligible first because it is kind of a lengthy application. So you must be the primary caregiver residing in the same household, caring for a loved one that has a disability or a senior. So that's the first thing. You want to make sure you're eligible. There's no income requirements. You would fill the application. It will be hosted on our website again, July 7th. We were hoping to get a fillable form filled out, but it looks like you're going to have to print it out, or you could come into our office and we'll help you fill it out. There will be some supporting documents that we'll need. Part of our contract with the county is to ensure that the primary caregiver and the person being cared for resides in the same household. So we'll need some IDs. We'll need a driver's license, an ID, a Social Security award letter, or a Maryland tax statement that proves that you both reside in the same household. There's a physician health form that the primary caregiver would make sure their loved one's physician form is filled out. We need that. All this information that's on the application is entered into our database, and it creates a profile. That profile would be then sent to a home health care agency like Visiting Angels so they have a better understanding of what your loved one needs. It sounds like in-home respite cannot be overnight or for 24 hours straight. In-home respite, no, that is correct. In-home respite is limited to 10 hours per day. We cannot pay for overnight care or anything over 10 hours. The only time you could do 24-hour care is in an assisted living. Our contract only allows for in-home care to limit to 10 hours per day. That is correct.
Can you elaborate a little bit, Jules, on the assisted living portion?
So we work with many home health care agencies. We also work with many assisted living, Sunrise, JK House of Grace, Arden Courts, Only Assisted Living, Serenity Gardens, Winter Growth. So we have a lot of assisted living organizations that we work with. The 10 hours cannot be overnight. Anything in the home cannot be overnight, anything after midnight, and it cannot exceed 10 hours per day. Now, if you need, and oftentimes Visiting Angels will do this, some families need overnight care. They'll use their 10 hours in respite, and then they'll pay privately. And you could do that. DC is completely different, and their respite program is very different. So it really depends on where you live and the guidelines. So the guidelines are different, the funding's different. So the Arc of Montgomery County has been awarded a contract by the Department of Health and Human Services. So Montgomery County gives a lot of funding to our program. Many other counties in Maryland only get state funding. So for example, Frederick County only supports about 20 people. In Montgomery County, we support 600 people. So their funding's limited. Many counties don't have a consortium. We are required by our contract to have a consortium of home health care agencies, assisted living, camps, therapeutic programs, adult medical day, adult social. Some of the counties don't require that. Our county requires us to have a consortium. We do not use independent contractors. We do not pay for family members. They all have to be approved consortium members, like Visiting Angels. All our home health care agencies must have a residential service agency license. And that's really important too, because they're required to do an assessment. And that's a requirement with our contract. So each state is different and each county is different. So I do want to let everyone know that's on the call that on Saturday, April 5th, we're having a respite resource and health fair. And Visiting Angels is one of our gold sponsors. And to let you know, there's going to be a lot of great things at the fair. Not only are we going to have a lot of our respite providers there, but we're also going to have health screenings. For example, there'll be A1C screenings, blood pressure screenings. There's going to be a cholesterol screening. There will be the Montgomery County Caregiver support program will be there, providing resources to seniors. We're having a virtual dementia look through, so someone can put on virtual goggles and look through a system to see how it is, how a person with dementia sees things. We have a lot of county resources that'll be there. We have a lot of, we're having a sensory zone for children with autism. We're having some therapeutic exercise programs there. We're having a hearing screening there as well. So lots going on that day. So we hope you can make it. And there'll be a lot of, you can learn more about our program on that day. Someone asked about the state program. Are you anticipating budget funds? Well, as everybody knows, the governor of Maryland has proposed many budget cuts. If we get any budget cuts, it could come from the state. We don't know yet. But again, our funding primarily comes from the county. So it may impact those counties that have rely on more state funding.
One of the things that is so important, that if you are a care provider for your loved one, just like they talk about being on the airplane, you can't take care of others if you don't put your oxygen mask on first. So what this program is twofold. It's primarily for the caregiver to have a break. That's what respite means. And it gives someone else a chance to come in and relieve that person, because you will get burnout. You might think you're strong enough. You might feel bad or feel guilty or even a little bit depressed of like, oh, I can't do this. I can't sleep. You sleep with one eye open, one eye closed. That's not healthy for you. And we have seen, correct me if not, Julz, so sometimes caregivers go down before the care recipient.
Yeah.
Because that is frightening for families. So you don't want to be in a position where you're losing both people, especially the care provider, because if that person goes down, then what are you going to do? What options do you have? So it's important to tap in. Please elaborate, Jill.
I think that is so important, Barbara. Thank you for saying that. A lot of times when I meet with families, they have lost their loved one to dementia. So they're looking at losing someone every day. And that's what it's like to live with someone that has dementia. You feel like you're losing someone every day, over and over again. And you forget about what your needs are. So oftentimes I will ask the family member, what did you do before you were a caregiver? What did you do for fun? And they're like, oh, I belong to a book club. I used to go to service on Sundays. And now they don't do any of that because they feel like they can't leave their loved one. A lot of times, this particularly happens to women a lot. They spoil their husbands, and their husbands think that no one else can care for them but their wives. And your spouse may be a little bit against having someone come in, but you really have to say, if you want me to continue to take care of them, I need to get a break. I love you. I want to continue to care for you. But if I don't take care of myself, I'm not going to be here for that. So it's really important to take, even if it's 4 hours a week, to go to that book club, to meet with other family members and go to lunch, meet with friends, go take a museum. And some caregivers stay at home and they just sleep for 4 hours because they've been up all night. So you deserve a break, and we hope you are able to apply for respite come July. And more importantly, we hope you can come to the fair because there's going to be a lot of resources there that you could tap into and learn about.
Thank you, Jules. And one of the things that we provide also, there is a waiting list when it can take up 30 to 45 days to be approved. I mean, there's a lot of applications that come in, so do not delay on this. Once you are in the system, you do have an opportunity to re-register for the following year a little bit early. That way you can secure your next year's hours, but it's real important that you get registered on that. In the meantime, if you're looking for something, that's what Visiting Angels provide. We are here. If you go ahead and start your care with us, and that time frame, if you start with respite, you don't have to change home care companies. We can transition right in to your respite hours. And that's something that is a benefit because people do build relationships with their care providers, which we would be. And one of the things that we try to assist people with is you don't have to wait. Let's get started. You get a feel for it, try it, and then you need to make sure, as we mentioned before, take care of yourself. Go get your hair done. Go get a pedicure. Go get a massage. Like she said, have lunch. Go to synagogue. Go to church and spend some time with your friends or your grandkids. Bring joy to your life because that's real important.
Okay.
Can a family member apply for the caregiver?
Well, the caregiver has to apply, but we have a lot of seniors that have their adult children fill out the application. And we actually list them as on the consent form, but the primary caregiver should fill it out. But if they need assistance and they ask their adult child to fill it out, they could do that, certainly. If you want us to communicate with the adult child, that has to be listed on the consent form. The primary caregiver always has to be listed on the consent. If you want someone else, we give you one option of an additional name. Question is, do you provide or know of respite services in other states? Yeah, again, respite is very common in other states. Nevada is one that I don't think has some, but yeah, there's other services in other states, and it's really dependent on their funding source. So the best way to do it is start with on a county level. So that's my recommendation. Always start out at the county level, and just do a search on the Department of Social Services in that county, and they usually have a search engine that does will have something on respite.
Maybe you might want to review, Jules, just a little bit the criteria of living in Montgomery County and having them in the same household. Just review that for them again.
So sure, to be eligible, there always must be a primary caregiver. So a spouse taking care of a spouse, a parent taking care of a child with a disability, a sibling caring for a sibling with a disability, but you must reside in the same Montgomery County household.
One of the things that I'll bring up is we talked about the driver's license or IDs. Sometimes people are not able to go to the DMV or the MVA to update their license. So if you want to, if you have that situation, reach out to Visiting Angels. I can provide you a way where you can apply and they can actually come to your home and update your ID. So that has been a stumbling block for some of the people applying for some of the provisions. So I will definitely provide that information to you. Just reach out to Visiting Angels. Dexter is going to put our contact information in there, in our email and everything, so you can.
Just so you know, if it's a change of address in the state of Maryland, you could do that online and it's free.
Yeah.
And
Point.
if we have seniors that don't drive, and we accept their Social Security award letter or a Maryland tax statement. Those we can't get around because when we get audited, those are the things we look for. So I believe my parent was the 106-year-old residing in respite. When respite ends, can we continue the care with the company? Absolutely. At the respite rate, most of our agencies will continue at the respite rate. There usually is at least a 4-hour minimum, but if you're using Visiting Angels, you want to talk to them about that. The Kaiser patient, a lot of times the Kaiser social workers will refer families to us. Again, our enrollment period's from July to February, so you would have to wait till July 7th to obtain our application from our website.
Please reach out to Visiting Angels and we can help you with that. If you're a Kaiser patient, we do living room visits. Visiting Angels will come directly to your home, or you can meet us here at the office, whichever you prefer, and we'll walk you through it step by step, help you fill out the application, make sure everything is in order, and then we can help make sure that the process, gets into the Arc of Montgomery County. And then after that, they'll be doing an orientation with you and getting all the documents and everything put together to receive your services. So please, don't be afraid to reach out to us.
Yeah, it's really important that we have the most valid fiscal year application, or we will not process that.
Okay, thanks for joining us, to everyone who attended today's coffee chat. We hope to see you again on the next third Wednesday of the month, as we always do. As you know, we host these coffee chats to give relevant information regarding care of our beloved seniors.
But I thank you so much, Dexter and Barbara, all the folks at Visiting Angels. I think they're on there. They have a great team over there. They're going to make sure they take real good care of you. And we really look forward to seeing you all at our Respite Resource Fair. And again, Visiting Angels is one of our gold sponsors. So we hope we see you all there. Best of luck to you. Enjoy the beautiful weather today. And we look forward to giving you a break. Thanks so much and have an awesome day.
At Visiting Angels, we're committed to enriching the lives of elders and their significant others. Our monthly coffee chat sessions aim to make your lives easier and better by providing quality information from our expert panelists. We're here to elevate your quality of life, offer practical wisdom, and ensure you have access to valuable insights.